Hello, engineer. Have a good evening. How are you? Thank you so much for being here tonight or this afternoon if you are in Brazil. I'm Beatriz Gilli. I'm a civil engineer here in Ireland. And today we're going to talk with the man of everything, the big boss. But before we start, I would like to read just one sentence for the day. I just Googled it here and I thought it was the best sentence for today. So today is the 12th of May, and the message for today is the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. So, perfect message because if it's something that Paul is always telling us is to keep doing, to go ahead and to make whatever you want to do. So, I'm more than honored to invite here my boss. He doesn't like that word. Paul Mc Grail, the big boss, to talk with us a little bit. Paul, welcome to the EU.engineer.
You're very welcome. I'm going to try say this. How my pronunciation is right now, I don't know, but espero que você goste.
Perfect.
Don't ask me any more in Portuguese.
That's all for today.
As you know, my goal this time next year, I will be speaking Portuguese, I hope,
You are being recorded now, so this is alive. There are a few people as witnesses, and you just made a promise.
Yeah, well, it's funny that they say to learn a language, many people are in my office who are Brazilian, and they say to learn a language, you have to go to the country. But in this way, the country has come to me, But I have to take advantage of it,
Definitely. Thank you again for being here. It's a pleasure to have you on the week where I'm celebrating the second anniversary of the project. And
Very good. Yeah.
That since the beginning you heard a lot about it, right?
Very good. Yeah, no, I'm hugely impressed with what you've achieved, and even making it to Engineers Ireland. Like I'm 25 years at Engineer, and I forget where their even offices are, and that you are now sort of like the mammy in there as well, I guess. So no, well done, proud of you.
Thank you. The way I like to start all the conversation when I have someone here as a guest, I would like to know who is Paul, because I know you, but there are some people who doesn't know you. So who is Paul, where Paul came from, and how did you get to the engineering world?
Oh, so this is really a deep my life. We will go back to like when I was like 6 months old or something like that. Ask me the questions. Go ahead, far away. How did I get into engineering?
Yeah.
I suppose in a strange way, I did. I went to. I'm trying to think of how to start. So I was in school in whatever fifth year at school. So with 1 year to go for leaving cert, I went to Lourdes on a trip. I met a woman there. She liked me because I helped people, handicapped people. I was a kid and she liked me. And one thing led to another. She got me a summer job. So that guy who took me on as a summer job, I had no interest in going to college. My leaving cert was the worst ever. I added up my points later, only like recently, and all I got was flower arranging as a course. So my leaving cert was so bad. So he liked me. He decided to send me to college. I said no initially, and he was like, "Just go. I'll pay for it." Because in the inner city where I'm from in Dublin, no one went to college. I lived in sort of working class flats. No one went to college, and most people had jobs. Most people didn't have jobs. So long story short, he said, "I'll pay." I said, "Fine." Year one, I realized that actually it's not that bad, and I was intelligent enough to pass my exams year one. And then I did all my studies by night, and 9 years it took me to get a degree. So that's how I ended up in engineering, working during the day and then studying at night. There you go.
Well done. It's impressive actually, because who knows you from today's date? We know you enjoy a lot to read everything, to study about everything. You really love engineering, right?
Yeah.
And the way you're telling, oh, my grades wasn't that good. So it's like, how is that possible?
Yeah. But I think, as you know, I'm always telling you guys in the office, be the best if you start anything, you should always aim to be the best in everything you do, whatever it is. Like if I play soccer, I want to be the best. If I play table tennis, I want to be the best. The only way to be good in engineering is to study, and to conquer. Knowledge is power. Like if I'm in an office, I was in City West today and I'm talking to the guys on site, and if they ask questions and you can just get the answers. A guy rang me today from Glenveigh and he said, Paul, do you know what the car park grade of basement should be? Straight away, I was like, BSA 110 said it has to be grade 2. Grade 2 means you have to tank it. To tank it's type A. That sounds impressive. Now, only because I learned that recently, right? But when you're able to say these things to a client, it sounds impressive. But you only get that by reading. And when before iPads and all these things, my wife used to slag me. We used to go to Spain and I'd books that high. And my bag was nearly overweight because Sinead would be lying there on the beach like that, like, and me studying, like, and if I was doing masonry, I'd study concrete to get ahead for the next project. If I was doing concrete, I'd study steel. So I'd always try to get ahead, like, and again, always wanted to impress somebody. I think in life, we're always trying to fight for somebody's approval, whether it's your mommy, your daddy, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. You're always fighting to impress somebody, I think, like,
Yeah, and you definitely do it.
Hope so,
You do.
But as I'm always saying to us as well, like, the day you think you're good is the day you fail, in my opinion. You should always question your ability a little bit. I'm not saying anxiety or anything like that, but always question yourself a little bit, I think, like, because it keeps that bite in you, keeps you wanting to impress, wanting to do more, wanting to impress somebody, like, and that's what I do. I'm always reading, always trying to impress, even you guys in the office, like, trying to impress you guys, because sometimes you guys might look to me for advice or whatever, like, and I can't turn around and go, don't know,
Yeah, you definitely are our Google.
Over the next 12 months, you will be my Google Translate,
Okay.
I think I would imagine poor Priscilla is fed up with me at this stage, like between my Google Translate on emails, and she would say a word to me, and I'm like, what? Like, gosh, I can't say that, like, it's a bit like you, sheet and shit. Now I get it, like,
Yeah. It's not easy at the beginning, but you definitely will do it right. No worry.
I think it's like anything. So I've signed up for a course in Portuguese. It's the only way I'm going to learn. And it's like anything. When you want to lose weight, tell somebody, I am going to get to this weight, because you don't want to let people down, or you don't want to go back and go, I failed, So I put it up on the board. Goal, this time next year, I will be speaking Portuguese for one day with 20% English, add a little bit of fat in. As engineers, we always add a little bit of fat, like,
Yeah. So in a year from today, we're going to be doing a live stream again, and then we'll be in Portuguese. Yay! Happy days. I'll let you know the questions first for this one, okay?
Just for my pronunciation, God knows what I said. I can't say it a lie, but I said a word in the canteen with Priscilla. Priscilla's like, oh no, that doesn't mean what you think it does. Like, I was like, okay,
But you'll be fine. It's the same as ghoulies and girlies.
Did have fun at the start with your pronunciation,
Yeah, so we're gonna do the same for the next ones.
Yeah, this way you have friends, you have fun with me and Dicey's or something like that, like,
Oh yes, we are going to dice together. When will be that?
I don't know. I've heard so much about this place. I just assumed it was a college because you talked about it so much. Like, I assume it's somewhere where you went to study English, or I don't know. Like, that's all I ever hear is Dicey's. Like,
It's the best place to learn Portuguese.
So I hear,
Yeah. No, let's keep talking about like your life. Not Dice's, not yet.
Reflection is always good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Play the hand, change the topic, change the conversation, make the person forget that they're actually wanting to ask me questions. Like,
You are really good on that. You are really good on that too.
Sometimes I'm on site and I might say, they're asking my opinion, and I'll give my opinion, but I'll always go, yeah, that should be a H16. But what do you think? And they'll go, yeah, I think H16. That's fantastic. Fair play to you. I like that. So H16, let's go at H16. So it drags them into it, like, and gives them the confidence to think that they actually come up with the solution, but it wasn't really, you know.
I know. I
So
know.
keep going. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Super.
You told me you finished your college degree with 9 years of school, and then
Yes.
how was that? You start to working for someone, or you finish your school and your college, and you said, "Okay, I want to have my own company."
No, I think to own your own company is, if I'm being brutally honest here, I suppose is what it's about. Very stressful. Very stressful. You know, I mean, I had long hair before I started all this, like, you know. Um,
Before 4 years ago.
yeah. So I got my degree, worked for somebody. The guy I was working with, was working for him till I can't remember what year. I can't remember the exact years or whatever. Like maybe 2005 or something like that. 2005, I think maybe. And then one thing led to another. We argued over something, right? And then I left. Okay, it happens. And then I joined another company, worked with them for a year, and then I went. But every time I moved jobs, I moved for less money. Strangely, because I decided I want to improve myself. So I decided I want to work in that company with that engineer, and it wasn't about the money. I knew I'd make money. We all would make money at some point, like, you know. But I think the first early years of anybody's career, it should be about career. You know, I see people,
Learning.
especially graduates, and it's about how much you earn, how much you earn. I want this, I want that, I want that. And they end up in the wrong company on a high salary. And because they're on a high salary with the red dots on them, you know, as an employer, it's about almost like a production line. It's about when can you get the information out? How many hours did it take you? And did I make money on that project? Unfortunately, as an employer, that's the way you have to look at it. Like, so I think in an early stage in anybody's career, like mine, I moved for less money because I wanted to work for a particular engineer in a particular company. And this particular company was Jack Kavanagh. He was the head of Engineers Ireland at the time. So I studied him, looked him up. The other guy was Jim Mansfield. He was on the Concrete Society. So I was like, I want to work in there. So I worked in there for 4 years. Then there was this new and up and coming company, Downs Associates, and I met one of the guys on a black tie event, and I knew him from early days. And he told me about his company. They were young, they were, you know, so enthusiastic. So I was like, I want to work there. And again, I moved for less money, you know. So that's my career path. And then in 2008, I got made redundant, like the whole world, like. So for the first 3 months, I sold runners in Blanchardstown as a
Really?
salesman. Yeah. Oh, I hated it. Hated it. Like,
Yeah,
one of the,
because if I know you a little bit, you probably, if the person say, "Oh, I want that, but I don't have money," you're gonna say, "No, no, 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 take it,
yeah.
take it."
Well, one of the first jobs I had, like as a street trader back in the day when I was younger, I used to sell wrapping paper. My auntie are all street traders. They sell fruit and veg. My auntie still sells the flowers on Grafton Street. My uncle sells earrings and pierces ears. So as a young kid, I used to sell wrapping paper on Henry Street. So I was one of those people that you go around the corner. I was like 5 for 50, you know, and the way I looked at it was you approach somebody who didn't even realize they wanted wrapping paper. And next minute, Paul Mc Grail is in their face. And he's going, you do. 5 for 50, bargain, there you go. And the person would buy it. And strangely, I took that mentality into business, like, you know. So when I first set it up on my own, it's like knocking on doors, trying to get work. Who are you? You know, and I used the mentality of get into their face, be everywhere. I used to go to architects' lectures, and one architect said to me, "Why are you here? You're an engineer. Like this is an architectural lecture." And I was like, "To meet you." And look at that, I've met you. You know. So then we talk, and then I would just knock on everybody's door trying to get work. It was a horrible time. I sold runners, but I set up my own business in 2009 March, and I think 2009. I think I earned a fiver or something like that. Like, you know, just, you know, it was tough for everybody, the whole world. I'm sure Brazil was the
Yeah.
same. Like, it was a tough time for everybody. Now I have to say, like, so it wasn't something I ever envisaged doing, was owning my own company or setting up my own company. I did maybe at some point, but if you look at engineering companies, they're all Barman here, Connor something Cronin, you know, DBFL. So no one really starts on their own because it's unbelievably stressful and decision making and all that. Like, so, but I did, and I set it up, and I kept going. And that was it, really.
Yeah. And when you start, because it was a small company, everything was you and the guys that I met, Chris and Ronan, was both of them at the
So
beginning.
for years, it was just me. They didn't come till a couple of years later on. Like, so for me, it was just me. It was doing the drawings, doing the design, cleaning the toilet, making the tea. It was me doing everything. Like, so yeah, that was at the start because there wasn't a lot of work, and I got a couple of lucky breaks. I got when I got this award-winning architects to back of my mar. I used to work with them in Downs Associates. They got a phone call and they rang looking for me. And Downs Associates said he was made redundant. And in fairness to them, they said, big mistake. They rang me and they said, are you out on your own? I said, I'm not. They said, why not? So they gave me confidence and they said, just do it. So I set up and they gave me a lot of work at the start. So they gave me the confidence to do it, and so I was very lucky in that sense, Now, I'm also a believer in you create your own luck. People say, I was lucky I did this, lucky I did that. But I obviously did well with them when I worked in Downs Associates, got on well with them, must have done a good job. So in that way, sometimes you create your own luck,
It's almost what I read at the beginning, right? So if you want your dreams to come true, just wake up and do it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I love positivity. Like I heard something the other day is that every day you should, at the end of the day, find something, one thing positive about the day, and it doesn't matter what it was. It could be, what, the makeup, the lipstick you have on tonight is amazing, right? So let's just say that's the most positive thing today that happened. Doesn't matter. One good thing you should think about every day. Listen, as you know, from certain jobs in the office, and you've seen me nearly cry. I haven't cried yet, but I don't always be positive, but I try see the positive side in everything. And in our office, as you know, laugh and learn are the two big things.
yes.
Learning and improving would be huge to me, but laughter is bigger, in my opinion. You have to laugh every day, as we said, a job to me is a means to get money so you can enjoy life, or in your case, to go to Dicey's every Sunday,
Yeah. I wish I could say you almost see me cry in the office, but I can't.
Am I allowed to say I love when you cry? I'm not allowed.
Yeah. In my case, it's laugh and learning and crying every moment, right?
Yeah. Well, as we know, there's been other people there in the office crying. I was like, yes, they have tear ducts. Yes,
I think she'll be around soon, and then we can ask her.
Very good.
And you start your company, you start working by yourself, then you start to get employees. And how
Yes.
was for you the first impression when you met your first Brazilian one?
Jesus, who would that be now? Let me think.
Who
I
is
can't
that?
honestly remember. She didn't really have. No, she didn't make an impression on me. I can't. Can you remember who it was?
I don't know.
Hmm.
No clue.
I just remember she cried a lot. I just remember she told me about her parents, and she was worried about her parents. Let me think. I don't know
And
whether
she
she's.
told you she didn't understand anything about engineering.
No, so she's very bad English. She cries a lot. She's very worried about her parents back in Brazil. I don't know whether she even had a visa. I can't remember,
I don't know if she was in an interview or she was in a therapist.
Yeah. I remember you said in the interview, I said, yeah, I drove to the interview. And then one day I said to you, can you drive to site? Oh, I don't have a car. This is after I took you on. And so it was, so you conned me into getting the job, But it was funny in the interview when I spoke to you, when you're doing interviews, everybody can add two and two. You look at you look at a CV. We all put what the other person wants to see. Okay, so but for me, I love interviews in a coffee shop. I love interviews where the person's comfortable. You know, to go into somebody's office, I'm nervous. So the person who's going to an interview is always nervous. And I totally understand that. And a CV, yeah, of course you're going to put whatever. I worked here, I did this, and I did that, and I'm amazing. And we all do that. For me, it's about the person. And For me, it's about will the person fit into the office. Personality in business is huge, like, and it's getting on with somebody. You know our Glenveigh project. So if we start on site, you start on site. You're 3 years saying hello to somebody, you know. So therefore, you have to get on with that person. Sometimes you probably have a relationship that lasts less than you probably have a relationship of 6 months. These are 3 years you're going to be talking to these people. So personality is huge, and getting on with people. I don't like aggressive people. I think there's no need. I don't like people who shout all the time. I shout in the office sometimes, I know that, but I try not to
You're getting
be.
better. You're getting better.
I'm getting better, yeah. But I try not to be, and I don't think there's any need to be. I hate ignorant people, obnoxious people. I think a lot of times they're hiding, behind the whole thing. Like, so I don't know. I don't like that. But laughter is huge. Even in meetings, I was on a meeting the other day and they were talking, and then Dean came on and Dean goes, "Oh, I see Mr. Mc Grail was entertaining everybody again." I can't remember what I said, but they were laughing. So that's huge, I think, is in any society, in any group, you be in a meeting and it's all very serious, and then there's laughter. Everybody lifts up, I think it's so important,
We need that.
yeah, laugh and learn.
Yes. And then you decide to hire me.
Jesus, yeah, remember that now. I've been trying to get rid of you for 4 years. 4 years I've been trying to get rid of you. It's easy to take somebody on, but very hard to get rid of them. Very hard,
Sorry, it's forever now.
I know, yeah.
You signed the contract
Yeah.
with the devil.
Did you not see the small print, Paul? Did you not read the whole lot?
Yeah, exactly.
You and my family on,
Was your fingerprint with blood there?
Yes, but going back to what I said in the interview, sometimes I talk too much.
No
The
problem.
one thing that impressed me, right, was your parents, and you talked about your parents. And
Jesus, not me at all.
No, but you talked about, if I can be brutally honest, can I?
Yeah, of course, of course.
You talked about sending money back to your parents. You talked about wanting to work to help them. That was huge to me. That's a caring person. So, and I was thinking that I liked your flight, the fact that you cared about your parents, the fact that you wanted to work to send money back to your parents. That was huge, to be honest. So I took you on. Funny, if you remember, in Ballymount, it was a small office, and for you, I'd say it was, oh my God, and I just threw you in at the deep end, and in fairness, there was some drainage drawings I got you to do or whatever, and you swam. I threw you in the deep end, and you swam. In fairness, and I've seen your flight, I've seen your growth, and it's hugely impressive, and even today with your EU.engineer title and whatever else, I love seeing people grow all the time. Somebody helped me. Somebody sent me to college. Somebody took me out of the inner city and helped me make money and helped me grow. And I just love giving back, and I love seeing the likes of yourself, how well you've got on and how much you've improved, and still have a lot to improve now. Remember, never think you're good. But I'm so impressed with all this that you're doing at the moment. So well done, blew the bus.
Thank you so much. You are part of that. You know that because you
Yeah.
helped me a lot.
No, the only thing is I guide. I don't help you. Help yourself. I guide everybody in the office. As I'm always telling you, knowledge is not knowing everything. Knowledge is knowing where to get the information. You cannot know everything. As an engineer, there's just so much to learn. And you've seen my PDF library in the office, and if you get the library, there's, I don't know, many books. But that's me gaining books over 20 years. Every time I read something, I put it in the library. And can I just really, the guy doing a road safety audit, can I just for 1 second, can you mute me or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Norman, hey.
Guys, during the time we're waiting for him, he can listen to me. So just a second, he still listens to me. But during this time, don't forget to subscribe, leave your likes, and share this with your friends. Invite them to come here. and leave your comments. If you need to ask something or if you have any questions to do, don't forget to write down here, okay? I hope you guys are enjoying this little chat with my boss. He'll be back in a second. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, guys, leave a comment down here. I want to know who is here with us. Leave a hi or whatever. Then I know you guys are together. We are together. I hope you guys are understanding my English. Hi, Danielle. Thank you for being here. Let me see. See, that's the point when you're talking with the boss. He needs to be working at 7:30 in the night. No. Big boss never stop. Lilian, come on. You should come with us to Dices. Good, Renato. I'll tell Paul that you're having a pint of Guinness. And he is back.
Yeah, when you work for yourself, you're like the spar shop that never closes, like, always open. So apologies for that, like.
No, you're fine. During the time you was on the phone, I was asking who was around. So Thales is here.
My little friend. Like,
Yeah, and he
the one
just said,
who couldn't remember his name yesterday, can't remember. Sorry, Mary.
Daniela is here. She said that I'm definitely a caring person. Danielle is a friend. He's always here on all the live streams. Then we have Fernando, the new one.
The new boy.
The new boy.
Yes. Let's see, can we make him cry within the next 3 months,
Already?
Yeah.
Renato said he's having a pint of Guinness.
Good man, as soon as I leave, he goes on the Guinness, that's it. Good man.
Pri is here as well. Loving the interview.
How are you, my princess? Dear Paul, do not go to Dicey's. Lillian.
Lillian, then I said to her, oh no, he's definitely going, and you're going to it. She said, yeah, I definitely will. So
no, definitely,
Yeah, we all going together to Dices.
Very good.
Where was we? So yeah, you're talking about then you hired me.
English, obviously, one.
You got me in, and
yes,
then we was in Ballymount.
Ballymount, and then we worked together, as you know, and then we left Ballymount and moved to Maynooth. Why did I move to Maynooth, you ask? Remember the wrapping paper story where you got into people's faces? Okay, where's Glenveigh's office? In Maynooth. So go back to the wrapping paper days, get in somebody's face. At one stage, I found out who was giving out work. It was funny. And one of the guys, I found out he was in a gym, one of the gyms that's in Maynooth. So I joined the gym in Maynooth, and I hated it, right? But I got talking to him, you see. So that was my way of trying to get talking to the person. Back to the wrapping paper in their face. I think I pulled a hamstring and everything in the bloody place, but I got a project. It was a start of us, like, so that was why I did that, like, but you gotta, I think in business, you gotta step outside the box, think outside the box. Like, what does everybody else do? Don't do that. Do something that nobody does, and that's why you should always improve yourself. Like we, as you know, in the office, we have another company who's a competitor. So for me, it's like, bring it on, So how can we improve? How can we be better than them? Like, and always try and improve yourself in everything you do. As long as you smile and laugh, you're all right. Like,
Yeah. But when you decide to move, did you thought that we are moving just us? Because the other guy decided to not go with us. Did you thought about it? Did you imagine that, or was like something that he was expecting?
Well, I think when Stephen said to us about you need to get bigger and you need to do this, you need to do that, and I remember Roger called me in and he said that we like you, but we are now going to float on the stock exchange, and we are going to get bigger, and you need to get bigger if you want to continue to work with Glenveigh. And I remember saying to him and Stephen at the time, don't stand on the heads of the people who helped you up now, you know. And in fairness, as you well know, he didn't, you know. So I needed to go get staff, and I needed to get them very quickly. They brought me in and they showed me these projects, 3 or 4 of them at the time, and they said they had to do a meat analysis on me. I don't even know what that is today, to be honest, like, you know. But they told me I need to get staff. So this is where Mammy came in. If you remember, Mammy then helped me get. Was Reese? Who was second? Was Reese? No.
Reese.
Reese, yeah. Then Leo, wasn't it? And then Priscilla. And they all happened very quickly, as you know. Like.
Yeah.
But taking on Reese was from the college that I lectured in at the time, and I heard Reese's story, and I questioned why I take him on. But anyway, as you know, what Reese is amazing, I have to say. Like, and he's working in City West now, and I almost see me and him, you know, from the working class inner city, and seeing his flights. I just love it. And I said to him, you know, if you don't finish the degree, I will find you, and I will. You know, and like what was done to me, I said, I'll pay for everything got to do with your education. Just finish it. Like, if you leave me at the end, that's your choice, buddy. But I really want to pay for your education and see your flight and watch you grow. And it's amazing to see him, I have to say, you know, like us, you know. I'm happy when you guys are happy, to be honest. Like, if I walk into that office and everybody's smiling, love that, you know. And then there's times when there's quietness, it's because you're all working, which is good as well, you know. But then, so we took on you. You helped me then in the new office. We took on Reese, and it was funny. I remember moving to the new office and coming from the box that we were in Ballymount. It was like, oh my God, there's like 10 seats. How are we going to fill all these seats? Like, you know, so that added pressure to me and stress and the whole lot. Like, you know, I felt it was like, I've organized a party, but there's only one person here, like, which is you. You know, I need people, like, you know. So Reese came along, and then Leo came along, I think, wasn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And I just remember telling me that you like Leo, he's like me, and the whole lot. No, he's not. He's 6 foot something or whatever. Like, you know, he's huge, like, you know. But Leo is unbelievably diligent. I love Leo for his diligence. Sometimes he can be annoying, but annoyingly because he's right. You know, I'm sometimes 90%. We grand, like, just get it out. You know, but Leo, like Priscilla, sometimes. Priscilla fights with me. Leo doesn't. I suppose that's the difference between the two of them. But Leo and Priscilla were friends, I think, before they came in. Still friends, obviously, but they knew each other. But it's amazing how alike they are at times, like, you know. Except Leo doesn't give out to me all the time, like Priscilla does, and the whole lot, like, you know.
Priscilla is a new mommy, so that's the point.
Yeah. she's slowly becoming the Irish mommy, I think. Like,
yeah.
Always giving out to the children, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so but I remember thinking at the time, for you when you first arrived, and I'd be very I remember thinking, to move to a different country to work is one thing. To move to a different country away from your family, number two. Irish people, we're well known up to maybe 1990. Irish people just finished school, travelled. We just, that's our island. We're all over the world because of that, like, because there was no work in Ireland for years, like, you know, and it was just a thing. You just got your leaving cert and off you went somewhere else, like America, most people UK or whatever, like, but everywhere. So most Irish people should be very tolerant of people coming back in, like, I don't know what everybody is, but I remember thinking that, hugely impressed by you coming and leaving your country miles away, you know, leaving your family. Different language, you know. I mean, you see me trying to my pidgin Portuguese, and I'm like, how do you? I just couldn't get it, like, you know. But I learned to speak slower when I was around you guys, like, you know. But and at the start, I was embarrassed about correcting your English, and then you said, "No, please," like, so. Again, it was me helping you, which I love helping people. And so helping you improve your English, your engineering, whatever I could do. That's me as a person. Like, I just love helping people. Like, it gives me a great satisfaction, I have to say, you know.
Yes.
But I think also as well that, and if I can again speak about Brazilians and engineers and stuff like that, you can be the most intelligent person in the world and the most intelligent Brazilian in the world. But if it cannot come out here, or you cannot put it in there, as in if you can't understand the person who's speaking, you can't understand what he's asking you to do, and you can't get across your intelligence if you cannot, the way we portray, we speak, like, um, and as you know, that there's some people in the office came and didn't last in the office because of that, like, and most of you who've done well in the office worked in a sandwich shop, or I won't tell people where you worked, but you worked in.
They know.
Okay. And so
As a
that's,
sales assistant, that's it.
yes, of course, with private ethic, of course, like, you
Goodies,
just
girlies.
you just keep telling yourself, Beatrice, like, but I think it's very important to improve your English before you take on a technical job, because, and I've seen them, and there's one or two as well. I meet them on sites and stuff like that, like not necessarily always Brazilian, but when they struggle to understand what you're asking, my thought process is always they won't last long. You know, they should learn their English in whatever format, like, because to learn English is one thing, to learn technical English is completely different, I'd say. I mean, we can all learn phrases, to the bang, I am, or all those sort of small phrases and that. For to go, if I ask you, like, what do you think is, like, what do you think if we make that a fixed moment connection? Like, what do you think the bending moment capacity will be with that beam? Like, you're into technical words that, if you're an engineer, you need to know them. Like, and you probably know someone from college. I don't know, but I think that's so important. Like, because my impression of Brazilians, I'm impressed with your knowledge and your will to work. Obviously, your education system must have been reasonably good, because most of you um, are very intelligent. What I'm blessed with the people I have in the office. Like, even some of them are leaving, and as much we'll chat tomorrow, I guess. Like, but he's going to be a huge hole to fill, I have to say. Very good. Like, from, I didn't like the first day he came into the office, as you well know, and he came in and he was like, you know, he was a real, hey, you want me? I'm here. If you don't want me, I don't care, and I remember at the time going, I'm not taking him on, and you said, I'm telling you, you're taking him on. And I was like, Beatrice, come on. He's like, yeah, whatever. So, and now we never changed the whole wow, whatever, but he was good and he is still good. And even him, I hope he has gained something from the office. And I know he's moving on to bigger things and where greener pastures is the word that they use, but I hope he has learned something, and I hope I've helped him on his path, and it's funny that to see, like, he kind of presumably saying names or whatever,
Yeah, he's watching. He's with
yeah.
us.
So, well, hi Hanato, and so to see somebody like Hanato go from a box with Daniela, and I presume they argued maybe because you're in a small little room, and now they have an amazing house, and I hope I helped them on their flight to get to that point, and he'll move on and he'll do very well. Whatever, I know where he's gone, but he'll do very well, and he's a good asset to any company, I have to say, but there you go. But then, like everybody, like yourself, Priscilla now is in a lovely home in Navan. So, and Priscilla went you for, I think, was she in Dublin 7 or something like that? She was in a box room very similar, I think,
Yeah.
So for me to watch us all grow and help you, I love that, to be honest, But as I've always said, it's a chain. I could not get to work without you guys, and I think you have to remember that, some people, when they run a business, I don't know, Beatrice is number 4724, Hanata was 4735, numbers, I don't know, it's not, I don't like it. As you see, me, I like to know the person, to see the person, to watch the person, and remembering that I'm nothing without you guys, absolutely nothing, and you have to always respect and remember, also be mindful of you guys miles away from your families, like, and as you know, when you go back to Brazil, 100%, like, just go, like, I totally get that, like, um but our country is like a war, just like a war. Our country needs you, like, but we do. That's the reality, like, and I think as Brazilians, when you go for jobs and stuff like that, keep it in your mind that, I need you just as much as you need me. You need me for money, but I need you for the projects, like, and to grow, I need you. So I think it's a mutual thing. Like, you help each other. You help. For me, I helped you get from a box room to a 4-bed mansion somewhere or something like that, like whatever,
I hope I get there.
yeah. You're taking baby steps, Beatrice. Like, other people are like mansions with swimming pools and stuff like that. I'm only joking, but yeah. But I think when you go to interviews and stuff like that, as I said, the first thing is make sure you improve your English. Two is remember that they need you. So I'm not saying be like Hanato now and slide back in your chair and go, you want me? It doesn't matter if you don't. I'm not suggesting that now. He has a certain unique skill of doing
Yeah.
that.
But I was right. He was really good since the beginning.
Oh, I tell you, and it killed me because you were,
And what is the biggest challenge for you as an employer?
Gee, trying not to curse.
Because we are talking about all this, people are coming and going. We didn't have a lot of people going back. We had a lot of coming and stay since the beginning. But I know for you, because it's always a insecure moment, right? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and how.
Like as you know, Fernando's joined us, and Lav is another engineer. He's joining us in a couple of weeks. Like, I stress over that. I don't know how people say, just take them on. If work dries up, you can let them go. I love taking people on, but to let anybody go, I've gone through 2 recessions, 93 and 2008, and it's not nice. It's horrible, and I just don't ever want to be that person to have to say to somebody, listen, work has dried up and I'm really sorry. I just don't want to be that person. I like going, yeah, come on in. Laugh and learn. Come on in. So I find that stressful. I find business is funny, like businesses, me doing the engineering side. Some people, you see me working, you see me drawing. I find that's certain, given, as we all know about certain projects, given time, us as a team can conquer anything, absolutely anything. And I wouldn't be afraid of anything, given the time. But there's the other side of the money side of it is horrible. I'm telling you, it's horrible. Like getting the invoices, checking for payment. How much is in the account? You what? I have to pay VAT? I have to pay that? Oh, geez. That's horrible, I have to say. Like, now we're fortunate with Glenveigh. They're good players in the whole lot. Like, but managing that side of it and managing projects and making sure that sometimes you see me and I go, wow, where's the drawing? What you don't see is behind the scenes. I'm getting people screaming at me. I'm getting my phone bounced off. Like, I'm getting emails, I'm getting WhatsApps, I'm getting loads of things going, where's that drawing? And so I get a massive punch in the head. I have to take that blow and softly give it to you guys, like, so that's managing. Is difficult, but the money is probably, as anybody running a business would tell you, is stressful. Trying to get it in and make sure, because you as an employee, I'm not saying you don't care, but it's all about getting your money at the end of the month. Like, what it took to get your wages at the end of the month, you don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but it's the toughest part now, I have to say. And you get people and they come in, and thankfully you guys are not this way now, I have to say. And I think I hope I've been reasonable to you all financially and all that. But sometimes you get people and they come in and demand this, demand that, like, and you're not expecting it sometimes, that can be difficult. You're budgeting every month, like, but that's business, there's pros and cons. Like, do you make more money working for yourself than working for somebody? Of course, like, you wouldn't do it if you didn't, like, but it has a stress. It is unbelievably stressful, and I'm not going to deny it, like, you know.
You lost
But
more hair as well, right?
yeah, why, Mom, losing hair? Get out of it! You sending balls? Oh my god!
No, no, no. It's just part of the job.
No, I'm bringing you to HR now on Monday for you to have a discussion about insulting me. You know.
I'm the HR.
I know, and everybody, you know. But
So, okay. I think it's fine.
yes, but yeah, no, that's for me. That's probably one of the most stressful parts is the financial end of it. I have to say, like you know, the doing the maths end of it. Once I'm given time, I'm okay. Like meeting people, I'm okay. Money.
Yeah.
That's you know.
I think it's hard for everybody who needs to keep all the families, like feeding the families and everything, right? So
Yeah,
it's
when
your
COVID,
position nowadays. So I lost you. Oh,
sorry, back now. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When COVID hit, that was horrible. Oh, that was horrible because, like, you're playing when it comes to financial running of a business, you're playing with people's lives. Like, you know, like if I let you go tomorrow, you probably have a car loan, you probably have a mortgage. Like that plays in my head, you know. And maybe I should be stronger. Maybe I should be a person that goes, yeah, what can I do? Good luck to you, you know. But I'm not that way as a person. So I just I didn't like that at all. I have to say, you know, neither you did, but you're playing with people's lives. I think like and you know, as I said, I love when I'm able to help people, but when it goes the other way, ugh, don't like that. You know.
But we did very well during the COVID period, right? Like I know we struggle in the financial direction,
Hmm.
but you keep everybody on as a team and everything.
Yeah, of course, like, but that, to me, it's trying to keep everybody positive, keep everybody working. As you know, mentally, if you're working, most people, if you're busy, are okay. You know, me when I'm not busy or idle, you know, those lovely bad thoughts come into your head, and we start thinking. Everybody does. We start thinking about things we shouldn't think about. Then you're battling with your head, going, "Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out!" Like you know. Whereas if you're stuck into W squared over 8, fixed moment, bending moments, go to that. Like I'm happier, and like that.
You're
Just
not
when
thinking about all the problems and everything, right?
no, no, exactly. And sometimes on holidays, it takes me about 3, 4 days to wind down on a holiday because I'm just go, 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 go. Then you go on holiday, you're like, whoa, 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 where's the phone ringing? Where's the email? They were giving out when it happens, but yeah, it takes me a couple of days to wind down when I'm on holidays and stuff. Well, as you know, I don't really take holidays, half holidays, like, but that's working for yourself, are you? You know?
Yes, that's part. The project started during the pandemic, so was another way to keep my mind busy.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Look at it now.
Yeah.
Successful 2 years later. Woo-hoo! Go, go.
Yay!
Yeah, bring it on, you know?
Let's keep doing it. It's helping a lot. So as you can see nowadays, there are a lot of Brazilians around, right?
Jesus, there's too many of them everywhere I go. Like I'm bumping into you, like you know. And it's funny. I had my daughter on my shoulders one day. We were walking down Grafton Street, and my daughter, all she gets just you know kids or whatever, and all she keeps saying is I'm more, to the bang, I'm more." And every time she would say that, a Brazilian person in Grafton Street was at the time, they would go, "Oh look, she's saying you know some Brazilian terms," but it was like every third person was saying. I'm like, what? How many people are here? Like, you know, I think it must be a certain area of Dublin, the density of Brazilians. Like, I'm guessing Dublin 7 at the start, there's a lot of Brazilians in it, like, because the cheap rent, you know.
City center, everywhere on Dublin, you're gonna find a Brazilian one.
Yeah, yeah, bring it on, you know.
Yes. And I remember when I started working with you, and then you got Leo, and then we got Pri. You started talking with your friends and say, "Oh, maybe you can go for a Brazilian one. Try to find a Brazilian engineer or Brazilian architect because they are really good, right?"
No, it's just you and Priscilla are very pretty. That was all, really. It was nothing got to do with intelligence at all, like, you know. And then Anato came on, it's like, oh, no, no more women. Anato's here. We have to talk everything. No, yeah, of course. Like because I was usually impressed with like it's very hard to get staff, very hard to get good staff. You can get bad staff, you know, but I don't know. I've just been very fortunate. I mean, I'm lucky to have you to do the selection, and now, as we know, Priscilla does the online tests and stuff like that. Like, so I've been fortunate to have you guys to help me because I think it's important for you guys to select the next member of staff. Now, Lav is the only one I think that you haven't had an involvement in because it it is helpful that he or she fits in to the rest of you, like so it's been very good for me to allow you guys to select the next member of staff. I come in at the end, as you well know, and I get embarrassed. You wouldn't think it, but I do get embarrassed over certain situations. And sometimes when you ask me to go sit down and talk to somebody, like Fernando, when he had to talk to him, I'm sure he was nervous. So was I, and I was embarrassed, but there you go.
All good now.
Oh, amazing! Is the right thing to say because you're listening? It's like amazing, Beatrice.
No, you can say the truth. That's no problem at all. That's not going to be used against you. Don't worry.
If I speak the truth, you probably have to edit it out. This is what goes.
It's alive.
Yeah. They are so.
There is no way to edit it.
Yeah. But you know what? I was impressed as well. Your sense of humor is very similar to Irish people, actually. Once you get the lingo of the language, even Priscilla's, I said something the other day. I think either I spilt a piece of paper. I don't know what I did. When you touch her stuff, don't touch me stuff.
Yeah.
She came in the other day. She goes, I know the way I leave my desk. I know the angle of my screen, what's on and what's not on. I know the piece of paper was at an angle of 30 degrees. You touched my desk, And, but she said the other day, you're wrecking me gaff. I was like, wow, look at you all Dublinese on me, Wait till Enrico gets older, I'll be teaching him all the Dublinese. Go on out of that, You're wrecking me gaff.
You're wrecking my gaff.
Wrecking me gaff. But yeah. So as I said, I've been very lucky and fortunate with the people I have in the office. It's a team. I hate being called a boss because I'm not a boss. To me, a boss is, I don't know, it's somebody who dictates. You try to dictate to Priscilla in the office, it just doesn't work. But she's right most of the time, and it kills me to say it. But it's a team effort, and I love when you guys answer me back. I'm being honest, as you know, my biggest strength is bringing in the work, and then your biggest strength is doing the work, and it's a team effort, so. I bring in the work, make sure we all get paid. Working is a means to get money to go to dices, as we well know, So that's the role in the office, and we all have a role. Every one of us, between maybe Reese was doing the technician work, and Anata was doing the design, Fernando's doing the 3D modeling. We all have a role. I just do a different role, And so I never, ever, ever see myself as a boss. Team leader, maybe, but I just do a different role to you guys. And I think you have to respect everybody, even from the cleaner. My first boss taught me that. Even the cleaner in the office, she's the same hierarchy as you. Because if the cleaner doesn't clean the desk, the technician comes in and he's all annoyed because his desk is not clean. The technician doesn't do a good job for the engineer because he's all annoyed because the cleaner didn't clean the desk. So the engineer gets off at the technician because they're doing it. And so where did it all stem from? The cleaner. So that taught me a lesson that we all are as important as each other. We just do different roles. That's it,
Yeah, and that's so true, because when you start to see the world like that, everything works better, because then we are working together and then we can deal with the problems together, right? It's not like, oh, I'm better than you. I'm telling you to do that, or things like that. Sometimes when you are in a bad mood, you are a little bit bossy, you know that.
Me? Bad mood? Get out of there, you mess. You funny girl. You're so funny.
No, how it is.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's really good. And I'm sure all the guys, they said the same thing during the time I was talking with them on the last weeks. We really love the atmosphere of the work, the job after the office, and everything that we learn with you. And the good thing that you was a lecturer at the university, right?
No,
for a while.
throw it in there. Go on, give me a big title. I love that. Like, then I'm not telling you about the time I was lecturing in UCD. Yes, I'm so intelligent.
Please tell
So
us.
like, 6 years I was there, like one of the top universities in Dublin. Like, just throw that in, why don't you? You know?
Yeah, it's no, but this is so good for us because you have all this knowledge and you know how to share. So
It's
that's
funny.
the
Yeah, it's funny when I first started teaching. Like being an engineer is one thing. Teaching is another skill set in itself. Like, but again, every year, what I used to do, like what I do with you guys sometimes, is every year I'd say to the students, "Give me feedback," and I don't want good feedback because we don't learn from good feedback. I mean, I could tell you every day, oh, Peter, you're amazing, you know, and anybody in the office, and if I say to you is that you're amazing, you're not going to learn anything. It's when I go, Beatrice, I'm telling you, I told you this before. I won't tell you again. You need to improve. You need to do this. You need to do that. You learn from that, you know, and
I'll cry as
naturally,
well, but yeah.
yeah, bring on the tears. We love tears in the office, you know. But I need to get the best out of you. If I get annoyed, most of the time, my most annoying times is when I see the potential in somebody and they don't fulfill their potential. When I know they're brilliant and I know they're intelligent and they just don't fulfill it. And that's when I get sometimes really annoyed, like, you know. But I have to sometimes be strict and I have to sometimes give out to you, but I want you to be just better. You know, I give out to Leo one time, where's your list? You haven't got a list. Leo's an excellent engineer, but he didn't have a list. And I give out to him. But I'm trying to improve him, like, you know, not I am giving out, but because I want us all to be amazing, you know. Like even you guys have improved me as well. But I just want every one of you to grow and improve and be when you're out there, be the best engineer you can be, you know, and that's what you should achieve, you know, strive to, I should say, like, you know.
We are trying.
Yeah, but anyway, and then every year they tell me something. Some of them use a mess and say your ties aren't grey or your shorts that you wear are not grey. I love that. Like, and I remember one year I was giving the students a lecture and all that, and they said about, okay, what about help? And I said, if you want me to help, I'll help. And they said, would you be able to come in next Tuesday or something like that? And I said, 100%, like, I don't get paid or whatever, but I'll tell you what, I'll do it for a Mars bar, right? Or bar chocolate. Do it for a bar chocolate. I came in the next time and there was 22 bars of chocolate on my desk. I loved that. Like, because it was a funny side of the students, like, you know. So needless to say, they all passed, you know. But I learned a lot from the 6 years lecturing, you know. And as you know, I'm always telling is know your audience. That's so important. Like you're talking here, know your audience. Like who's your audience? Brazilians, like. So you have to be mindful of who your audience is. If you're in a meeting, is it a meeting with the CEO of the company? Is it a meeting with students? Is it a meeting with whoever, the site engineers? Know your audience is very important because then you should speak differently and speak about the items that they want to listen to. You know, I mean, I could talk about Sean's hurling today at school. Do you think half the people here would want to know? No, like, you know, so you need to captivate people and you need to educate them or whatever, but know your audience would be very important. That's all. I got that lesson in UCD actually, you know, and it's funny, the first time I started teaching, I was like, yeah, you know, thinking that they would all be mad impressed and want to learn this, that, and the other. And my first set of notes were blah, blah, blah. Then you realize, yes, they're just students and they just want the answer to pass the exam and get out, you know. So I learned that very quickly, like, because you'd be there going blah, 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 blah. And then they go, yeah, is that on the exam, by the way? You know, so that's all you got. So then I changed my tactic and start talking personally about all the mistakes I've made over the last 25 years. And it's funny, you're in a lecture theatre and you go, geez, was this one time, right, I made a big mistake. Straight away, all the students are like, ooh, I like this story, you know. And we all, it's unfortunate, right? But don't we all love people's mistakes? Like, your own, oh, Jesus, no. Like, but somebody else's mistakes, you're learning from it, like. So I started to bring that to the lecture. So we do an hour of the technical side and teaching and all that. Then the next hour was pictures, mistakes, teaching them, educating them, what you should do on the site, what you shouldn't do. Like I tell you, if people call you, Beatrice, I need you to solve this, like, and there's 3 or 4 people around, just get away from them, you know, because it just put pressure on you. And I do it all the time. I go, whoa, lads, you're looking at this for 2 hours. Give me a freaking break, will you? You know, just leave me alone. Go away. Let me solve it, like, you know. And Today they still slag me because of what I say on sites. Like, with every problem, there's a solution.
There's a solution.
It's finding the solution. Give me time and we'll find it, like, you know. But I think it's very important, as and especially Brazilian engineers and young engineers and stuff like that, like, just don't heed to the pressure. Just take your time, walk away, and almost, I'm always telling you guys, when you finish your drawing, to try and look at it like a drone and look at it holistically. Okay, that didn't work, but why? That's connected to that. What? So he's leaning on that, and he's leaning on that. He must have pushed him. That caused that. Now I get it. But when I first looked in that corner, I couldn't figure that out. So I stood back and I looked holistically at the whole lot. Like, now I get it. But you need to do that in everything. Step away, like, you know.
And another thing you always tell us is when you finish a project at the end of the day, don't send straight away. Just breathe.
Read.
Yes. Double check in the morning. And
Yeah.
then
Let's be honest. Did you ever type an email and you're typing it and you go blah blah blah, beaches out, do that, and you think it's all correct in your head, and you take a step back and you read it and you go, oh, that's not what I want to say. Like, as Priscilla knows, I wrote an email and it was a contractual thing, right? And it was, this does not relieve the precast manufacturer of the sole responsibility of design. I wrote, in my head, I was typing, does not. Okay. I paused, I read it. What I wrote in the email was does. So therefore, it was that word not was missing. I think it was the word, and it just completely changed the whole context of it. Like, so pausing is so important. And you know, I get into trouble because I used to say to you, pause. Now I say to Talis, lips moving. He goes mad. You know, I think Talis is one of those gets all excited. An idea comes into his head and he goes, and he goes, Talis, I'm talking, and it's like, yeah, but my idea was so good. I just needed to get it out there, you know. I think he's learning a little bit now, like, but
he's still fresh. He's still fresh.
That young and excitement and blah, 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 you know. But I do believe as you get older, the power of the pause is so important. And by that I mean it's like when somebody's talking, listening is, I've learned that over the years, is just listen. Let the person speak. You know, it's amazing when you're talking, even friends, when you're in a pub or something like that, is just listening. And people, I think we all forget that sometimes, you know, because it's you know, it's all about me. If I'm in a conversation, there's a person, it's always about me. Let me tell you about my life. Yeah, I know you're talking back, but well, I'll tell you about me. Pause and listen, you know. So there you go.
Yes.
I
learned a lot that with you.
This is like words of wisdom more than anything else. But go on, anyhow, you know, happy to talk. Like,
Talis is here and he was laughing because you said he's the fresh one.
see, didn't you make it finish? He's already typing, you know.
Yeah, well, something like that.
But again, laughter is key. I hope Talis is laughing wherever he's sitting, like, you know. So, and that's key, you know. I think in the office, humor, as you know, laughter is so important. Like, life is too short, like, you know. And but I'd hate the day when one of you wake up in the morning and go, oh, Mc Grail's office, oh, Jeannie Mac, I hate going into this place. Like, I'd hate that, like, you know.
Yeah. We are not like that yet.
Yet, you know.
I had a few comments here that I want to go through that. Let me see. Pri was here saying that she's loving the interview. Vivian, I think Vivian is from Glenveigh, isn't it?
She is in, I'm looking at, she on Academy Street, no? Or am I getting that mixed up?
No, Academy Street is Rosaline.
Right.
I would like to ask Paul
what he thinks about so many Brazilian engineers in Ireland to work in the civil construction. I think I probably spoke about that before. Our island needs you, you know. And I think there was two young girls actually on the City West side today, and we chatted, like, and But it was interesting and very good to see Stephen on the site speaking slowly and helping them. And most Irish people are appreciative of you guys being on the island, helping our country, you know. And you know what's amazing to hear as well? I remember when Talis came over and he was like, yeah, I'm going back to Brazil. And then the other day we were talking and Talis was just like, whoa, I'm staying, you know. So it's like as if our little island must be good, you know. And
Yeah.
and so, but you know, it is very, very good to have you in the industry. But remember, as I said at the start, improve your English. Jesus, improve your English, like, you know, and because you guys are so smart, and your education system is must be very good in Brazil, like, because you are very smart, but your English sometimes might let you down, you know. So, but that's important, you know.
Do you have any tips or do you recommend any way to improve the technical words? Because the English, the basic one, we can learn at school. But
Mm.
technical words, it's really hard to find a way to learn that.
Like you guys seem to be able to read very easily. That's one thing I've noticed, which is like speaking the words is one thing, and maybe not you. But um,
All the
reading.
others, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We are not
Every
talking about me
Brazilian.
now.
Yeah. The 500,000 Brazilians in Ireland, like, are usually good at reading. But just unfortunately, it's reading, isn't it? Like, or hoping that you get somebody that will help you. You know, I like, you can ask me. You know, guys, you can ask me any question, and I'm only too glad to help. Like, but reading is key. Like, really, you cannot. Like, I gave a lecture the other day to the girl in Stamullen, and it was about Irish water details and stuff like that. And I said to them that this is the Irish water standard details. This is the Irish water code of practice. You have to eat that. Literally eat it. When you're having your breakfast, you read it. When you're having your dinner, you read it. Like, just be brilliant. Like, read the thing. So when you go there, and straight away, sometimes they might say, "Oh, the Brazilian engineer, yeah, we were stuck and we had to get this girl in or whatever." And all of a sudden, that girl's going, "Yeah, I think that should be 300 mil over the pipe, and it should be stone that's 10 to 5 millimeters." I guarantee you, people go, "Wow," you know. But you only get that from reading, unfortunately. Like, and so you guys will feel like you're battling, I would imagine. You know, you're battling with your language, battling and finding, you know, somewhere to live at the moment. Like, it's very expensive. So you feel like, God, you're always battling, I say, when you come to this country. But to add to that battle, you need to read. You really, really do. Like, so whatever job you're entering into, like, let's say you're going to City West and you're setting out, what are you setting out? Is it a concrete building? Is it pipes? Whatever it is, learn about it. Ask somebody, what do you use as an engineer? What did you use to design this building? Like, the start of my lectures, I always give, like, my first page on the lecture will always be where I got the information from. Whoever that person is, whatever job they go into, find out those books. And if we can help our office in any way, 100%, like, you know.
And most of these technical documents, they are available online, right? Like the Irish Water technical guidance. We can
Yep.
just check
Yeah.
online.
Well, TII Publications is it's a free website, you know, and it's all the Irish standard got to do. Structural is slightly different, okay? But civil works, it's pretty much readily available. Civil is more reading and understanding and you know, complying with codes of practice. Structural is a little bit more difficult, I have to say. But I've done, as you know, I do both sides of the coin. But yeah, TII Publications.ie, I think it is. You'll get so much information there, you know.
Thanks for
You're
the tips.
welcome. Yes.
Let's see you Dani Fabiano. Paul is so nice.
You are very welcome.
At the end of the day, you have to think about something positive that happened. Good tip. Loving the interview. He loves your
Positivity every
yes.
day. And there's always a positive and a negative. You said something to me today. What did you say to me today? You said something about, oh, my therapist says that all men are something. You called me something. And Priscilla said something about, was you or Priscilla? I can't remember. She says all men are, probably can't say the rest of it, right? And she was
Bastards.
something like that, right? And positive out of negative, she called me a bastard. No, you could curse, right? She called me a bastard. Positive out of that negative, She thinks I'm a man. Yeah, baby. So calls me a man. So that's the positive out of the negative. And you might think, if I crash my car and God roll off the car, where's the positive in that? Well, you won't do that again. So there's always a positive and a negative, and try twist things. And like we stressed over one particular project, and thankfully we're coming out of that now. And now the positive is like, wow, just look what we did. Look at it. 6 stories over the transfer slab. Wow. And we designed all that. Like, wow. And sometimes I love children. And if you watch kids, everything is wow. Because they're new and they're learning. They learn, you give them a toy. Like I give Ava something, my daughter. She's brilliant, and you give her a bottle. Oh, wow. Look at that. Well, look, you twist it and it opens. Wow, it stays on. Oh wow, I love kids for that. Like, and I sometimes think as adults we forget the simplistic things in life, and the fact that you take off your top and it stays on the bottle. Wow, love this. Like, but try take that positivity in everything you do and be proud of everything you do. Like, no matter what you do, where you go, what you've achieved, even if you go to Dicey's and you go, wow, I drank 6 pints today, no, I drink 4. Wow, but it's just positive. And I remember reading this book, it's called The Secret, okay? And it's about an antenna, and hang around with positive people, and like if I walk into the office, let's say, and there's whatever I'm in the office, and I'm sure if I walk in some days and I go, to the bang, I'm more, and I'm laughing and joking, it has to lift you, Now, there's other days when I walk in, I'm not smiling, like, but positivity is huge in people's lives. It de-stresses everybody. Laughter is key, and try and see the positive side of everything. Sometimes we're terrible. Remember the negative things. Look back in your life. And you go, just remember my mom always give out to me, my dad, we this, we forget all the good things they did for us. Like, and I think our brains are tuned in to just remember the negative things. I don't know why. We remember the negatives before the positives. So try change that. Try be
Yeah,
positive.
we need to change the key.
Switch it, like, and
yes.
train your brain to just be positive. And every so often just go for the sake of it. Wow. Sometimes I mess in offices or on site meetings or something like that. And we do something and I go, wow, and the person's like, what? Just for fun,
But you definitely will change everything around the atmosphere when you do something like that. And that's the main thing, right? You're not just thinking about yourself, you're bringing the energy for everybody.
Yeah. And again, laughter does a lot of that, like, and it's you ever watch a person, even like if I'm looking at you, right? So a person, and they're sitting there and they're like that, and you watch a lady or something, I'm obviously watching the ladies or whatever, and you see a person and she's like that, and then you might look over again in a pub or something and the person's smiling. They just look totally different. To actually look 10 times better looking or something. I don't know, smile or laughter is key to everything. You're smiling now,
Yeah, and actually it's a funny story, quick one. But that happens to me when I was leaving the supermarket today. I bought, I was like with the shopping. I was getting some eggs and things like to eat today, right?
Right.
So I was leaving the shopping and then I was crossing the street and the car just stopped for me to cross. But I was in the like half 5 in the evening after site works and everything. So I was that mood, without my makeup, with my hair all messy. And the guy, he just drove by and then he said, okay, what time should I come for dinner? I'll bring the wine. And I was, what? Because first of all, I couldn't understand the joke.
Yeah.
Because when he talked with me, I was, do I know you? Where do I met you? I don't know you. I can't recognize your face. Who is he? Is he working on the sites? Do I know him from some? Like my mind was everything. And then he did the joke. Then I couldn't understand. I said, sorry. And then he said again. And I was, okay. Then I was processing everything. And when I got the joke, I started laughing. But it was like 5 minutes later. But he changed my day.
It's like, as I say, made you smile. And that's so important. I talk a lot, and my son gives out to me sometimes for talking to people, even strangers. But to me, a stranger is a friend who you just haven't met yet, like, and my friend, my son sometimes is like, Dad, even in the toilet, you talk to the person beside you. Like you're supposed to be in doing your bits and pieces, like not talking to the man beside you. But sometimes I'm like, you're in the toilet, you're doing your thing, and there's a person beside you, and there's that silence. I feel I have to speak, like, it could be anything,
Or
lovely day.
just check. You didn't.
Yeah, just check, like, how you getting on there? Sometimes when people go, I'm just going to the toilet, enjoy yourself, and the other person is like, well, what did he think I said? You have an amazing time in the toilet, like, and then heading out to the toilet, go, oh, I don't know what he thinks I'm doing,
And I don't want to know, by the way.
Yeah.
No need to let me know, please.
But I love sort of cracking the non-normal jokes or something like that and saying things completely out of context or whatever, like, so it just, again, just to make somebody laugh. Like, I used to love exams at the start of exams or something, and I'd mess that tension in the room and stuff like that. And I used to love the start of exams, and I mess a lot, like,
Yeah. Back to the comments, okay? So
Right.
Renato was saying thank you for everything, Paul. And of course, he learned a lot with you. And Dani, his wife, she said, Paul, you are part of all our achievements. So thank you for everything.
You're very welcome. And I don't know whether I don't know. I remember the first time I looked at Renata's phone and I had Daniela Dublin, obviously with the Brazilian phone. I was like, how many Danielas do you have in your life? Like Daniela Dublin, Mead, Kildare, so much.
Yeah, and it's so normal for us to put like the location where we met the person as part of the name. Here, you guys have the costume. Can I say that? You normally put the name and surname, right?
Yes.
No, we don't. It's just first name and where you met the person.
Well, for you guys, I'm just fascinated by about 4 or 5 different names. Like, what the just. Usually in Ireland it's like Peter Byrne too, No, not you guys. Like, use your full title. Jesus, like that's it all.
Yeah. No, I already give up about the surname because it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So Wayne is here. He's saying, "Oh, we are holding up very well, my friend." So,
thank you. Well, for the people who don't know me, I hope I made somebody smile. The people who work for me, you better have fucking smiled, Yeah, or you're fired, I think I fired you all at one stage, I guess, like, haven't I,
Yeah, a few times. We quit as well.
And that's just repeat cycle. You just repeat cycle. I'm out of here. I'm only joking. You're fired. I'm only joking.
Pedro is saying that's really nice to meet you, Paul, and you are my next chief. I think
very good. I didn't know whether it was chef or chief. Here was what? Chef spelled the same way as a chief. I don't know. Is it maybe? I don't know.
Chef, it's EF.
Is it?
No.
When I first read that, I was like, my English no good. I was going, Pedro wants me to cook for him. Jeez, I haven't even met the man.
I think he's looking for a job, actually.
I guess that, like,
Yeah.
But as long as you're willing to laugh and learn,
Gabriel is here asking, what do you most appreciate about Brazilian workers? Do you know who is this Gabriel?
Gabriel is which side? I met Gabriel. He is
Hollistown.
Hollistown. Yeah. Okay. And he was only fresh in the country, I think, when I met him. I can't remember, like,
Yes.
Was he asking, what do you appreciate? What was the question?
What do you most appreciate about Brazilian workers?
Work ethic seems to be very good with you. Sometimes you meet Irish people, and not Irish, I suppose, no, I shouldn't say that because then you're stereotyping people. Your work ethic is very good. Again, I go back to my own staff, and I'm unbelievably fortunate. An example, Good Friday, most offices finish on Good Friday. I was on holidays. I typed back to the office, take the day off. You guys came back and said, no. You were like, no, take the day off. And you guys came back and said, no, Paul, we have a deadline for Wednesday, so we are not taking the day off. Like that to me is like, honestly, is huge. Like, so because that means you care, and caring is. I was listening to an interview with Ronan O'Gara, who's a rugby player, right? And he was asked what the difference between. I know I'm slightly getting off the topic, and I'll go back and answer it.
No, it's fine.
But Roland O'Gara said, "What's the difference between New Zealand rugby and Irish rugby?" And he said, "In New Zealand, they care, and by that I mean, when you're in the bottom of a ruck, you've played, 70 minutes of rugby or 70 minutes, and do you care enough to get up and make the next tackle?" He said that is the difference between New Zealand rugby and Irish rugby. And I love taking snippets of things in life. You meet people who say phrases, and I love that. And Brazilians, the ones I've met, care a lot, and I don't know whether it's they're very appreciative of their job, very appreciative of having a degree, been in a different country or whatever. But yeah, their work ethic is excellent. And I've said that to many friends. They were like, "Oh, I don't know, seems to be a couple of Brazilians out there, blah blah blah. Will I take them on?" And if I'm being really honest, I said if they're good English, 100%, And again, I was honest, and I said if their English is bad, you'll struggle, But their work ethic is amazing, So whatever you get taught, maybe it's the Brazilian mammies or something like that, I don't know. But your work ethic is excellent, I have to say,
Yeah, I think it's because we really appreciate the way you guys recognize us as engineers here and all the opportunities we are having on around Ireland. So it's the minimum that we can do is just
Yeah,
care.
but you give it back to us in your work ethic, So when you first join a job, everybody's on a trial period and you've 3 months, but it's your caring and your work ethic is huge, and keep that up, and because it's hugely impressive, so keep it up, and again, go back to the whatever it is, how long you stay in Ireland, just be brilliant. The next tomorrow, I want whoever's listening to do something where you go, wow, look at that, wow, brilliant, be positive in everything you do. And I see a lot of people as well, and I'm probably guilty of it as well, of not being appreciative of what you've achieved. Now I'm probably the most guilty person probably of that, because I've had people say to me, "Do you know, you've done well, Paul?" And I go, "Yeah, whatever," but I think for people, they shouldn't be like me, they should be very appreciative of what they've achieved. Getting to this island in itself, is a huge achievement. Finding accommodation in Dublin 7 is a huge achievement. Getting past the door in Dicey's on a Sunday night, I've seen the queues. That's a huge achievement, So, baby steps, and be very proud of all the steps that you guys make. And the first step is, leaving your country. That has to be difficult. How do you feel when you leave your country? I'm asking you, I'm going to interview you, and the people who are listening. What's it like leaving Brazil and coming to Ireland? Your expectations?
At the beginning, it was just for a few months. So it was more like I need a break. I need to learn something new. I want to see the world. So the first month was like if I was just as a tourist.
Right.
So, and because I never left Brazil before, so I never travel around when I was in Brazil. I was always in São Paulo with my mom. If I was traveling around, it was just small trips with my sister. So it was always there. And when I decided to come, it was like, okay, I need to see what is outside the world. And the first month was tourism, so it was easy, let's say.
And I know you guys come to Ireland because it's easy to get in, right? Visa-wise.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not about the Irish men or the charm or the island or the weather or the greens. None of that. It's because it's easy, But so you come to Ireland because it's easy. But your expectations of Ireland, how was Ireland portrayed in Brazil before you come over?
I never heard about Ireland before.
Never. For Jesus' sake, geography, you're obviously not good at the geography in school,
No, I'm terrible with geography. That's the point.
Yeah.
Okay. But because most of the times when you're talking about exchange to do an English course or whatever, the main countries that came in your mind will be Canada, Australia, maybe United States, and maybe England. But because of the currents, right? And everything that was happening on that moment when I decided to come to Ireland, because was in Brazil, we was starting with our crisis, so the engineering jobs and the market was going down, almost like was here in 2008.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine, she was here already, so she was telling me all the time, "Oh, you should come even for a few months, just for you have a break and to see the world." Because I think you know that, but I was planning to get married.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Like, yeah, but see,
Yeah.
you get what you do is you get rid of them, and then you come over to Ireland, meet the Irishman, and then you're laughing. You know,
Yeah, I'm still looking for the Irishman.
he's out there. He's out there. Like the guy in the toilet, you just talk to them. Like you just talk to everybody. Like you know, I do
Yeah.
know. How are you fixed? How are you? You know.
Yeah.
But I remember, as I said to you, sometimes we look at life too complicated. And I remember, as I told you before, I was going for looking at meeting architects, and this guy, as you know, was peeing away, and he turned around and he says to me, I don't know where he's from, just goes, I need job. And I said, sorry about that. And he just turned back around again. I remember thinking, I overcomplicate trying to get work off architects, and it's just sometimes that simple. I'm going, I need job. It's like I saw these two little girls. I love snippets of things. And I saw these two girls in an airport. I was sitting in the airport, and this little young girl walks over to the other girl who she didn't know from Adam, right? And she just walked over. I was looking at this, and she goes, hi. And the other girl goes, hi. She goes, can I be your friend? And the other girl says, of course. And the two of them walked off hand in hand and became
Oh,
friends for a little time they're in the airport. And I just remember we complicate even friendship at times when it's just that simple. Beatrice, can I be your friend? And obviously you better go yes. Right.
yes,
Oh,
of
thank you.
course.
And look, we're both smiling. It's that simple. We complicate everything as adults. And looking
I'm
through
glad
the
you
right.
did that when I said, "Can I be your employee?"
Yeah. Of course. We held hands as we walked through the office, you know.
Yay! And we
Yeah.
dance. We definitely dance in the
But
office.
you, I did a dance. You were only in the office a month, and I said, it's a small room. And I said to Beatrice, you wouldn't do us a favor. Will you just watch me while I do this dance? And she was like, you what? You know, and it was Greece. I was practicing Greece. I was dressing up as a woman and doing a show. And I'm sure you were like, what the? Is he a cross-dresser? Oh, what the? You know?
Oh, I thought he was joking with me or something. And in that moment, my English was terrible, right? So
Mhm.
when you said that, no, 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 just see if I'm following the steps, and you gave me your phone
You make
with
a
the
video.
dance, and I was, are you for real? Like,
Yeah.
and suddenly he was dancing on the middle of the room.
I know. I still have the moves, you know. You know.
Yeah, of course. We still need to do that again.
Yes, of course.
Now
Like
we have all the team together.
I remember sort of, I'm sure it was funny for you because all of a sudden you see, I don't like the word boss, but you use it. After a month, you see your boss dressed up as a woman on a show. You're like, what? And then after that, you saw me dressed up as a nun and then stripping all my gear off, me naked up the stage nearly, like, you know?
Well, too many information.
Yeah, too much information. And they're all going, where's that video? You know?
I have it.
Very good, very good.
Uh, let's keep with the comments because we are an hour and a half talking already.
Well, you know me, I'll
So
talk forever, you know?
yeah, that's great. Everyone is nice, and I'm the right
Wrecking the ball.
Lilian.
Well, it's fun. Lillian, oh, go on, sorry.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
I called Lillian a ball crusher today. He was like, "What? You what? I'm not a ball crusher." I was messing with her all the time. And she's like, "I may come across in the meetings as a ball crusher, but I'm not." Yeah, you are. You know.
Lilian, she can get all the jokes straight away because she has an Irish guy around, right? So it's
Yeah,
easy for
yeah.
her.
Eventually we'll
She
get you
was the
all.
learn. She was the smart one.
Yeah. She rang me one day, I have to say, you know, I'm very soft, as you well know that. And Lillian rang me one day just to say hello. And I was like, whoa, you just rang to say hello. Like, and I that was impressive, I have to say. And this goes back to, like, you know, to get on in business, personality is huge. And for Lillian to just ring and say hello, was there an ulterior motive? Shit, it's not. So she just rings, say hello. That's huge. It really is. In business, to do the small things, like we forget that, like, you know. Like I only see Lillian as a ball crusher, but that day, I didn't see her as a ball crusher. You know.
Yeah. and she is. I mean, she was one of the first ones that I talked here on the channel. She told us all her history. She needs to come back now to tell us about the Glenville job because
So she's on this. The difficulty is I can't listen to any of that. And in 12 months, I'll look back at all the videos when it's
yes,
on.
in 12 months you can watch everything. But I think a few ones we have the subtitles in English. I'll check if we her interview we have it, and I'll let you know. I know I misunderstood about Vivian. She's still in Brazil, so it's not her. I
I'm
was
going to Dublin in July and would love to have a big
boss.
boss. All right. Well,
Yeah, I would love to have a big boss like Paul.
there's loads of us. We come on over. Come on over to the island. Like, you'd be grand. Just get you to the island. You'll be all right. Like,
Yeah.
But equally, I don't know where you're going or where. If we can help as an office, like as you know, we help other people and stuff like that. 100% when you get to the island, and if you want to come to our office and talk to Beatrice, 100% we'll help you in every way we can. Like, not necessarily even a full-time job in our company, but yeah, we'll help you in any way
At
we
least we can give the directions.
can. Of course, like 100%.
Yeah. That's why I'm here. That's why these exist. That's the
Yeah,
plan.
to help
So
everybody.
we
Yeah.
work together. He helps me as well. So don't worry. Philippe is asking, is there also a demand for health and safety engineers in Dublin?
The simple answer is there's a demand for all engineers. Okay, there is a skill shortage at the moment in construction. So it's not just engineers, it's plumbers, it's carpenters, it's everybody, it's block layers. So, and health and safety, every year it grows because every year there's accidents. So every year there's you see on the sites, Glenveigh 2 years ago, you could walk across the site and go as the crow flies. But it's not like that anymore. There are walkways, the scaffolding, there's tags, there's a course for everything. So there's a huge demand for health and safety operatives, engineers, everybody. Like, just get to the island, you'll be all right. Come on, the fuck up there.
It's not that easy, but you'll be all right. Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to be like, but all these Brazilians will have to be like the Netherlands and just grow out to the sea, like the way, and like
Yeah.
Dubai.
But do you remember the time we was waiting for my work permit?
I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not allowed to say. I remember when you come in and they told you to go home.
Yeah, exactly. You're allowed to say everything that you want. Don't worry about it. But you
Yeah,
remember
no,
it
it
was
was funny, but
6 months.
I remember saying to you, don't be worrying. Like, it's just somebody behind the desk with a tick box to tell you to go home. Like. So,
Yes.
no, 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 no. As I said at the very start, we need you, and you plural, and I think wherever you go, whatever job you go, just be mindful of that, and like business is about production line. As I said, sometimes I use the analogy of Mars bars. How many Mars bars can the office produce? And if you produce 10 Mars bars, I can sell 10 Mars bars. But if you're only starting off and you produce 5 Mars bars, then I can only sell 5 Mars bars. There's only money from 5 Mars bars coming in. So that's all reflected in your salaries. So when you first start out, you earn 5 or whatever, but don't jump for money. That'd be my opinion. Jump for the right job, and also, like, your mentor is almost like your parents. Like, I hope I've been a good mentor to you guys, but it's very important to know who you're going to work for, and because you will learn, especially Brazilians coming over, it's language is one thing, and I've emphasized that, learn English, right? But know who you're going to work for, know the person. You meet HR if you go to a big company, but don't be afraid to ask and go, yeah, I'll be Hanato now and I'll slide on my chair, yeah, but who will I work for? Like, who is the man or who is the woman I will be working for? I need to know this person, but I do think it is important to know who your mentor will be in whatever job you're going in, because I'm guessing you guys are going to come over on a huge learning curve, so that's important. And again, I know you need money, you need to live, and I get all that, but try not to be greedy and take the first job that's offering the most money, because if they're offering the most money, the chances are they need somebody now and they need to hit the ground running. and they won't have time for anybody who okay, well, no, me no, they just won't have time for that. Like they just won't, and that will stress you even more. And it's already stressful. Let's say when you leave Brazil, come here, you tell me that the first couple of months are horrible. It's the emptiness and the loneliness of, they say London with 12 million people is probably one of the most loneliest places in the world. Like 12 million people, like, but it doesn't matter. You can be that lonely, like, so don't move for money, or don't take the first job that's offering the most money. Take the right job,
Yes.
because whoever's coming over, there should be a lot of work, like. Very good.
Um, let me see. I saw someone asking for a job here, but I don't know. I know Wayne is just giving a good advice for all engineers out there. Preparation is the key to a successful engineer. Always so correct. Oh my God, don't say that, Wayne.
Yeah. Hold on. My head has just got bigger. I need to widen the screen out.
I'll need to work with him tomorrow, so don't say that.
Will you just ask Priscilla to copy the last couple of words there and try get her?
Priscilla was talking about the memory, so she said selective memory. She will definitely use that for now.
Yeah, my therapist said all men have selective memory.
Yeah. Ana Julia is saying that lucky you to have a boss like Paul. He seems to be an amazing person to have around.
Am I blushing, or is it just my Irish red cheeks? Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's an advantage having the Irish red cheeks. Like, you don't know when I'm blushing,
Lillian saying she gotta go, but she loves us.
She's gone off to crush somebody else's balls there by the sound of it. That's terrible, like saying that. But anyway, I'm joking,
Here, Wayne is asking, can you offer Wayne a job?
I'd love to take I would love to take the whole of Brazil and bring them over and give them all jobs. Like,
no, he is Irish.
Oh, he's sorry, geez, Wayne Ocean, wasn't he? I just saw
he's Irish, so
on the bottom.
I don't know what he does, but he's Irish.
Yeah, just bring him in,
Yeah. We came to Ireland because it's Europe. Very good to travel around. Yeah, that's another reason as well.
Renato travel? Nah, he hasn't told me that about 10,000 million times that he likes to travel. Like, no, him and Daniela, no, not at all. Like, I think he has shares in Ryanair at this stage. Like, I'm sure he knows Michael O'Leary.
Oh, see, I'm not the only one who didn't know about Ireland. Tali say I didn't know anything about Ireland as well. Just was easy to work, study, and travel.
Oh, so he says easy to work. Let's see tomorrow, Talis, when we get into the office. You think it's easy, huh? First 3 months, it's easy street, and after that, it's wait till I get him tomorrow,
Yeah. Angelica, brilliant interview, nice and engaged chat. Angelica, she's an engineer. She's working in Limerick.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I hope she's enjoying wherever she is, like,
Yeah. Amazing interview. Thank you very much, Paul.
You're very welcome.
Let's see here. What advice do you have for someone who is 20 years old, has been living in Ireland for 3 years, and in your second year in college as an accountant?
Jesus, 20. Oh my God, like.
He's a baby.
Oh my God, a baby, like,
I wish.
First of all, he should just behave like those two girls in the airport who just went up to each other and says, "Can I be your friend?" And so, Livy, it's been 20 years you're living in Ireland and 3 years in second year in college. If you're in second year in college, you're still in college. Some people, they see colleges. I need to get out. I need a degree. When you get out and then you realize, oh yeah, I enjoy
more.
And to be honest, because remember, you're going to be working when you get out of college, right? You're going to be working for 40 years. 40 years, like you're only 20 years on this earth, and you're going to be working. Like when I was teaching in UCD, did I tell you I taught in UCD? Just want to add that bit in as well.
Really, tell me more.
It's all about me. So when I was teaching in UCD, just to add that bit again, as you know, 72 times you have to say something for it to go in. But I told them at the very end of the last class, it was always ask me any questions, the color of my underwear. I just asked me whatever, And the advice I always gave them was, don't go straight into a job. You've gone from 4 years of age with a book, or 5 years of age starting school, all the way till you're 23 and you still have a book. Okay. When you leave here, you will be working for 40 years. Like, it's a phenomenal amount of time. So my advice to everybody when they leave college is just take time out. People sometimes, and they go rushing over to this door, trying to open a rush into that door. By that I mean job interviews and stuff like that. My advice to them at the time was, just take time out. Doors will open for you. Don't rush to them. They'll open, and the right one will open. But I see graduates and they just panic. It's a job in that door. It's a job in that door. I need money. 35 grand a year, 40 grand a year, 50 grand. Who's offering the most money? So the wrong attitude, in my opinion. And I see them all because anyway, over the years, I've met loads of people, graduates and all that. And I don't know, I must have been reasonably placid at times, because in one of the companies I work in, they used to always put a graduate beside me. They'd sit there for a year and then they'd move on. So maybe I was always reasonably good at teaching. I don't know, but that's what happened to me. But yeah, I think people forget how long they've been working. Just slow down. I remember I was watching, I think I'll tell you the story about the little kid, and he was walking ahead of me. And he was only a baby, so he's taking baby steps and walking really slow. And I was walking fast, and I got behind the two of them, and the mother apologized and tried to get the baby to move out of the way to allow me to walk. And I was like watching this baby. Again, I'm terrible for people watching. And I was like, no. If we all walked 50% slower than we do walk now, life, I think, would be a lot better. Slow that book down. Life goes so fast. And I think we forget that. And we should stop and appreciate everything and slow that book down, That would be... I try to do that. I'm always running around. I'm telling you to do that, but I don't do that,
No, you have been slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, that could be the brain with age or something like that. I don't know, Beatrice. Like maybe as I get
No. Like if we compare you from 4 years ago, you're doing things slowly, but you're thinking more. I think before you was like trying to get everything in, but now you're stopping and you're looking around and you're saying, okay, let's do this stage first. At least I'm feeling like that.
What's the difference between 4 years ago and now?
New.
What has changed between me 4 years ago and me now? Do I tell you? I have views in my life. Like, I don't think I'm the same person as I was 4 years ago. Like, I would have been on the earth for 40 years, and all of a sudden then you're telling me I'm more placid, not because you guys in the office are now with me. And you guys have obviously made my life better. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not a boss. Like, I'm listening to you now. You've obviously improved me, And so for that, I'm grateful, So go back to about the whole Brazilian engineers. You obviously made this Irishman better by the sounds of it, You're welcome. Except Alice, tomorrow. You're gonna get it. There'll be no more bang, none of that for you tomorrow,
You just running the moment. I was planning to say, oh, that was my whoa of the day, and then you just ruined the moment.
Sorry, go ahead. You need to say the word. What's the word?
Thank you, Paul. You're amazing. That was my whoa of the day. I'm so grateful.
Great. Yes. Every day find something that positively happened and enjoy it,
There are some more people asking for advice from you. So what advice do you have for someone who is looking to start a career as a structural engineer? First step.
Don't do it. Go back a step. That's the first step should be backwards, if you ask me. And you ask Priscilla the same question. She'd say, yep, go back, rewind. Sometimes as structural engineers, it's very stressful. And sometimes we joke about the McDonald's ad. Do you want fries with that? Even my friend around the corner had a meltdown, and I just texted him and went, yeah, do you want fries with that? And it made him laugh, But to be really, really honest, structural engineering is extremely difficult. Okay, and I told these, like, did I tell you about the UCD thing? Did I tell you about UCD? So again, I told the guys in UCD, even if you don't work in consultancy, to get an engineering degree, go back to that word, wow, it is extremely difficult to get an engineering degree. And my son has issues, and I'm using my engineering brain to break down these issues and solve the problem. Everything, with every problem, there's a
Has a
solution,
solution.
right? So to become an engineer is huge, huge. Like, people forget that. Like, it's very difficult, very hard to get that degree. You should be so proud. Some people go into banking. Some people go into, like, my first year in UCD, there was maybe 20 people, and there was no work. And so none of them ended up working as a structural engineering consultancy. They ended up working for Paddy Power as actuaries, pension companies, banking, because they're all about solving problems. Is Manchester United going to win the next team? What score are they going to win by? How are they going to do that? You need to look at the results. You need to look at history. They're all the problems. Now let's come up with the solutions. Like, what should be pitched at? 3-1, 4-1. So they recognize that engineers have an amazing brain and be so good at solving problems. But to go back, I'm not quite sure where who was that asked that question? I'm not sure what. Yeah, so Grace, I'm not sure where you are in your step in the career. Like, as in, are you in school? Are you trying to, are you
If
trying
I'm
to?
not wrong, she already finished her school in Brazil, so she's graduated as a civil engineer, as all of us, because you already know, like, in Brazil is different from here. But she
Yeah,
wants to start as a structural engineer here in Ireland.
yeah. First of all, like, structural engineering, it's not something you pick up. Again, it goes back to reading, reading, reading. Like, there's a lot of information out there as a structural engineer. First thing is you find a good mentor, because if you don't have a good mentor who has the patience to sit down with you and teach you, and then it's not worth working in that company, in my opinion. So you have to find the right person who's going to appreciate. I see a lot of engineers or people, and they forget that they were young once. They forget that they were a graduate. They forget that they were in college. They become old and grumpy, and I don't got time for this shit, and I think you need to find the right person who appreciates, yeah, I was that person once. And me, slightly different. I love watching people grow. And, to find the right job, my first job, I left after 10 months. Why? Because the mentor I had was so bad, and the money was great. I have to say, go back to what I said, I moved for less money. But the guy I was working with, I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to get the right education. Because when you leave college, as we all know, jack shit, like, you know, and you think you know it all. You come out of college, I have a degree. Did I tell you I have a degree? I'm great. Jack shit, like, you learn by doing on the job, like, and
That's
you
true.
learn by somebody helping you, and you have to find the right person. Like, so research whatever job that Grace is looking to go into, whatever company she's looking to go into, research what projects they're working on. When she's in the interview, if it's HR, find out who the person is should be working with. And don't be afraid to say, like, you will be working with Paul Mc Grail. Will I actually be working with Paul Mc Grail, or will I be working with his team? Is it him I'm working with? Great. So that's important, I think,
Yes.
Is it possible to be hard still being in Brazil? What do you think? Do you know what? The beauty of technology is, yes, like Fernando was in Portugal when we employed him in theory, like, so it doesn't matter where you are these days, if you come across very well on your video calls, you can be employed. The beauty of technology now is you can be employed anywhere in the world. As you know, we get the CVs in our office. We get the CVs, and we go. And a lot of times in CVs, as you know, I'm trying to find the person. We all have a degree and we're all great. We this and that, blah blah blah. But then we do the online tutorial interviews, as in the work sort of exercise. Like, so it could be AutoCAD, could be Revit for us. So you do that test online, and it doesn't matter where you are nowadays. Like, so it's very good that way. Like, and most employers know that it would take 2 months maybe to get somebody or whatever. Like, and if you come over like you, Beatrice, with for what?
4 months.
4 months. But like you, if you come over with just a shirt on your back and no visa or whatever, like most people will help you, like, you know.
Yeah. We can always find a pole at the end of the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Not a light, it's a pole.
In about 2 months, it'd be cute. Be like in my office, I'd be like Dicey's, you know. I'll be standing at the door. Sorry, not tonight. Sorry, not tonight. Yeah, don't know you. Don't know your face. They'd be like, I was on the interview EU engineer, not a member. Like, yeah, sorry, not tonight. You know.
They will definitely, if they find you on the streets, they will definitely talk with you.
Yeah. Even in the toilet, feel free to talk to me.
Jackson said 1 point.
You speak. Go on.
From my perspective, mental health matters here. And this makes me love working in Ireland. Okay, so that's why he came to Ireland. And for sure, it's not just about the money. And there are probably more people who agreed with this. Yeah.
Yeah, as you guys know, in the office at the moment, mental health is huge. Like, you know, I had my own issues a couple of weeks ago, and so did other people in the office. Like, I can't remember who broke first in the office. I know I was, but it's funny. And again, can I be really honest? And I remember walking in one day, and one of the members of staff in the office was crying, and I remember saying, "Why are you crying?" And she was like, "Paul, we care. I'm watching you." And I remember just saying to myself, "Okay, now this shit stops. The children are affected, like, you know, because we care for each other. So this shit stops." And I made sure that whatever was stressing us all out, we got help, you know, from a mental strength point of view. And now I think we've come out of it a lot stronger, you know. But isn't it funny mentally when you're in a dark hole, you see things with a different light. Like when you're mentally not strong, you know. If I have a problem and I go for a run, I haven't done anything, but the exercise serotonin, I come back and I'm stronger to handle it mentally. People forget the brain is powerful. Like, how powerful is the brain? I mean, I can go back to a memory 40 years ago, probably, or something like that. Just like that, you know. Imagine the hard drive. Imagine, well, you don't want to get in there anyhow, but imagine if you could stick a cable in there and have a look at my memory. Don't go there, by the way. But
Dark side.
you ever see those movies where you sort of project up on the screen? What the? Get that off.
Where do you go?
Yeah. Hey, I didn't know you. Yeah.
Oh my God. Everyone needs to have a great relationship with staff and jobs. It's so important, imperative in my eyes. Brazilians are so good in our lives. Thank you, Wayne.
He's been, what can I say, push a sacco, is it?
Puxa saco, yeah.
I forgot how good my Portuguese is, like, you know.
And Pri said, B and Paul are amazing people. They have a huge heart, and I'm so grateful for all the support and patience with me. Oh, love you.
What is she looking for? She's looking for something. I don't know what it is. Like,
This is no heart.
yeah. But the beauty, listen, we have grown as an office, and I'm so grateful to have every one of you in my life, like, you know, because it's just amazing. I mean, I enjoy walking into the office and having laughter. It's brilliant, like. And again, remember, 8 hours a day we spend in these places, like. Take 8 hours of sleep out, right? And traveling. I know you're on the sites a lot, right? But if you were in the office like all the time, I would spend more time with you, Peters, than I would with my wife, like, you know. It's just so, I think you got to remember that, like, we spend more time with each other in an office environment than anybody else, like. And
Yes.
you have to enjoy it. You have to have fun. You have to have laughter. Of course, there's seriousness. Of course, you have to get the job done and the whole lot. And structural engineering is stressful. But you know what? Fuck that. You need to every so often have a laugh. Like,
That's why sometimes I like to go to the office.
Yeah, just to get a laugh, like, you know. Yeah.
Just to see you guys.
Yeah, and I think you know our office. Like sometimes if it's a sunny day, I'd be like, get out of here. 23 degrees, get the head.
Let's cross the street and go to the pub.
Yeah, like Canada when restart time, like when I'm watching the news, I'm like, what? Yeah. Are they seriously those two lads out there? Like, that was
Yeah.
so funny. You're watching the news at home, like, I'm there going, hey, I'm the boss. I'm the only one who's supposed to leave early, like,
That day was funny.
Yeah, but you know what? That made me laugh. And, sneaky things I love.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be part of the team. I'm learning now. Another one, Persis Sacco, another one, like, Thank you. He's only saying that because he told him I'd crush his balls tomorrow. Like, thank you so much for this first year almost. It went so fast and can't wait. Talis is amazing, I have to say. Jesus, we are very fortunate to find him. He's like a golden nugget, really, isn't he? Like,
Yes.
just like I'd be in the office and I'd say, Talis, done. What? Like, I haven't even finished a sentence. The way he just keeps interrupting. Sometimes it's good. But sometimes these days he comes over and goes, Pablo, he almost has to hold his lips closed. And I think behind the hand, the lips are going.
Just the sound's not coming through, but he's still trying to.
And he's battling with his mental health and the thoughts. Don't speak, don't speak, don't do it, don't do it. No, but he's amazing, I have to say. I know.
But at least he's saying the word you like to hear. Like, it's done. I finished.
Yeah.
I sent already.
Oh, man, he's so clever. Very good. Like, he really was brought in at the wrong time because we had the job City West and we were all so stressed, so busy. And I kept saying to him that, Talis, you're coming in with the office in the middle of a hurricane. It can only be described as that, as a hurricane that hit the office. Like, but we survived. We came out of it. And if you stand in City West today, you'll say the word, wow,
Wow.
And, but yeah, Talis is so smart, so clever, so diligent, just good all around guy now, I have to say,
But Paul, if you think about it, none of us came to the office in a quiet moment. All of us was like in the moment we was struggling with more work and more job coming, and then everybody was like throw into the tornado and then just find yourself.
Listen, I remember being a young kid and I couldn't swim, and it was in the Ivy Bath at the inner city Dublin, and they kicked me into the 6 foot end, like, and I remember struggling, and that's what life is like sometimes, isn't it? Like, and it's safe to swim, and the strongest come out swimming, like, and I'm being very fortunate. Every one of you guys, you now can swim very good. Start, I had to give the odd armband or something like that, like, but no, you guys are doing very well, So it helps me. You said I'm calmer these days, like. Obviously, at the start, I'm probably like I'm getting in the air. Where's the drawing? Where's the drawing? I go, blah blah. Where's the drawing? K. So, but now it's different, which is good,
Yeah, we are learning all together, so it's really good.
You never stop learning. That's about structural engineering or civil engineering. You never ever stop learning, ever, and don't ever try. It'd be boring. I think. I mean, we go into engineering for challenges, to solve problems, to use our brain, like. To get an engineering degree, you must be intelligent, So why waste it? Like, use it, like, and improve on your skill sets all the time and challenge yourself all the time. As you know, a couple of years ago, I did a marathon. Why? Because I challenged myself. I couldn't run across the road, and I was thinking, fuck, I'll do a marathon, and I went from 0 to a marathon in 11 months just to challenge myself. That was all, really, like.
Yes, I remember you was training every day, and every day you was checking how much more you improve in your running and everything.
Yeah, but it's just a challenge. I love challenging myself. And I hate when somebody goes, "Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that." You what? You what? Oh, you fucking so will,
Don't say it. I will.
Yeah.
That's really great. Karina said here, great interview, guys. Thank you, Paul. My boss is also a Paul.
Well,
and I'm so grateful for the amazing human and structural engineer mentor he is. Maybe it is a Paul's name.
Yeah, when we were all born, it's like, yeah, he looks like a Paul. He so looks like a Paul. Yeah, you make them engineers, they'd be brilliant.
He will be a great mentor. So, yeah.
Great mentor, like,
Karina, tell your boss, tell your Paul to come here one day to talk with us as well.
It's so funny if he looked like me, spoke like me,
It looks like me, but it's not me. It's not a mirror.
Yeah, a clone,
Yeah. Paul, I think we finished. I think we cover everything. I'm so
And
glad.
don't go. You're great fun. Stop. Don't go.
We can
I,
stay here if you
I
want.
can juggle. I can juggle. I can do something. I can joke. Play something like.
You know what? I need to
What?
wake up in the morning to work, but you are my boss, so I don't mind.
Everybody's gone and me and you were still talking at 2 o'clock in the morning,
The good thing is, tomorrow morning you cannot say that I was at Tyson's last night.
Yeah, yeah. When you see me in the morning now, you'd be like, Paul, you're all grumpy. What? Yeah, that's the work, Paul. This is the fun, Paul.
Yeah, that's it. I really
Very good.
appreciate that. Thank you. It was amazing.
It's an absolute pleasure. And again, what you were doing for all the Brazilians and helping them, and the what on Sunday, oh my God, like fair play. And I know your other colleague that we saw earlier on and stuff like that helps you out, just can't remember the name, but fair play to you, fair play, to provide a platform for this for engineers using technology to give them knowledge, to give them help. That's huge, huge, so now they have a platform where they can ask questions, they can find out things to ease the anxiety. Because I'm
Yes.
sure you have a lot of anxiety when you go from Brazil to Ireland, or any country. So this reduces anxiety levels and helps their mental health. As you know, mental health with me at the moment is big.
Yeah.
So fair play to you. The
Thanks.
mammy, as I call you.
Thanks. I
Just
really
get them
appreciate
to the island. Get them to the island. I'll look after them. They'll be all right. Just get them to the island.
Come, 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 come.
Yeah. Bring it on, bitch. Bring it on.
Thank you so much. That was definitely my wow moment for the day.
Yeah.
I have no words to say how much that I really appreciate everything that you have done for me in all these years. And thank you for being here, because I know it's late. You have your kids, you have your wife, and to take these 2 hours to be here talking with me about everything, all this process, it's really important. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're
And
so
my English is not that bad, you see?
yeah. Well, what you say, I couldn't understand. Oh, listen, very good. It's a pleasure. So every day you walk into the office now, B, I want you to say, "Wow, I
Wow.
work, I work for Paul Mc Grail. Wow,"
I did that already. You just don't know it.
Yeah. Or Talis might go, "Wow,"
Like, whoa.
Very good. Listen,
Thank you.
I'll
I'll
stop
see you
talking.
tomorrow.
Pleasure. Bye bye. Good night.
Good
Ciao.
night. Tchau,
Até
tchau.
amanhã.
Bye bye. Até amanhã. Bye bye.
Bye.
And thank you, all of you guys who stay here until now. It was 2 hours of amazing chat. I really appreciate all of you to stay with us. Have a good night. And for you who is here in Ireland, don't forget about our Brazilian Mastermind that's going to happen this Sunday. I can't wait to see all your faces there. I'm really excited about it. So I hope see you there. We still have tickets, and you can get the link on Instagram to get your ticket if you didn't get it yet. And I see you then. Have a good night. Bye bye.